From from taking supplements, that you earlier said calcium is the one that gets all the attention, but
Mhm.
very often it requires more than just calcium. What are the things that, and I'm assuming, of course, it's a very nuanced answer, but broad strokes, what are the supplements that one should even consider, and based on what?
So the most important supplements are calcium and vitamin D. Why are these two important? Are because they essentially go hand in hand. A lot of times it's difficult to know how much calcium is there in your bones, like I mentioned, by just doing a blood calcium test, because your blood calcium is more or less going to be normal. But along with that, if your body has deficient in vitamin D, that is a red flag that you really need to start taking supplements. So why are calcium and vitamin D supplements taken together or hand in hand? Is because for calcium to be absorbed by the body, you need vitamin D. If you don't have vitamin D and you're consuming a lot of calcium through tablets or through your diet, it's essentially just going to be eliminated out of your body and excreted without being absorbed. And that is the most important mistake a lot of patients take, is that they feel it's important only to take calcium and not vitamin D, and not test any other parameters. So vitamin D, serum albumin, and phosphorus are usually other tests that we do in such patients. And at the same time, another important doubt that patients have is, when should I be taking these supplements? Should I take calcium separately, vitamin D separately? Should I be taking it early morning on an empty stomach, or at night, before food, after food? So the most important take home message is that calcium and vitamin D supplements should be taken after your meal, not on an empty stomach or before your meal, because your calcium and vitamin D, for it to be optimally absorbed in the body, it requires the presence of acid in your stomach. So that's why if you take it with a meal, that acid actually helps the absorption of calcium and vitamin D. Another distinct point is that you have two types of vitamins. One can be water soluble, like B12 and vitamin C, but vitamin D, on the other hand, is actually a fat soluble vitamin. So that's why what I recommend to patients is that you should be taking vitamin D with the heaviest or your largest meal of the day. Why? Because the fat in the meal will actually help vitamin D to get absorbed in a larger dose or a larger amount, as compared to that when you take it on an empty stomach. So that's why calcium, vitamin D, phosphorus usually go hand in hand.